After finally wrapping up all the PlayStation 1 bowling games, it's time to finish off the Nintendo 64 ones as well, which, not surprisingly, are in fewer numbers. We only have like 3 games total, so let's tackle the last one being Milo's Astro Lanes, developed by Player One and published by Crave Entertainment in the year 1998. This little cartoonish sci-fi bowling game offers a decent selection of content and keeps things from getting stale quickly, unlike those realistic bowling games, by introducing power-ups and traps on top of a neat soundtrack and charming characters. Let's get this one done and move on to greener pastures, where the buffalo roam, and don't pet that thing that's 3 shades of brown. Oh, and that's a hint for future reviews right there.
Williker, Dr. Android.
To begin, we need to select a mode. Since we're alone, we'll play League, as it's the only real mode available without another player. After that, we can select a bowling ball from 6 options, which was a difficult choice with how neat they all are. Then we can select from 6 characters to play as, each one with their own personality, but otherwise nothing else is different about them.
Ooh, tricky.
Now on to the controls, which are pretty good. In fact, they are some of the best I've experienced in a bowling game so far, and I've reviewed like, 17 or 18 games so far, basically? Wow, I should branch out and do other kinds of games more often at this rate. Anyways, you push the analog stick up, and either keep it straight or push it left or right for a spin, and change of direction. Then, you press the A button to toss your ball, the B button toggles through any power-ups or traps you have, and the Z button enables them. L and R shoulder buttons are to change the camera, and the D-pad is to move and position your character. Very simple controls and mechanics that work, which is such a breath of air. So, after so many mediocre and garbage bowling games. Plus, it's a Nintendo 64 game. Go figure. The Nintendo 64 controller has better controls than the PS1 or PS2 bowling game. Ridiculous.
Oh, darn.
There are 2 modes within League mode. You have your standard 1-on-1 bowling match and a bonus level. Each lane has its own theme and obstacles. For example, the hyperspace lane has a ramp and a gap for your ball to fall into if you're not careful with your throw, or using certain power-ups that can cost you your turn.
Oh, darn.
Venus Vacation has lava coming from the volcano as well. But your greatest threat with Milo's Astro Lanes will always be the frame rate. Dear God, is the frame rate just chugging along.
Weehaw!
Power-ups are a thing in-game. Those colored stars you see, if you touch them with your ball, you can get a power-up/trap. These range from making your balls huge, splitting your ball in 3, or speeding it up. These can either be a blessing or a curse, depending on which lane you're bowling on and the position of your throw.
Whoa!
Traps, however, are the opposite of beneficial for yourself during your turn, at the least. In fact, These are great little dick moves that you can pull off, and so can your opponents. These range from acid puddles that will eat away their balls, to throwing a cartoon bomb at them, which blows up their bowling ball. There's even a spring that sends their ball flying all over the place.
Impossible.
The bonus levels are playable after you win a cup from a respective lane. Then you could go back and play a mini game where you have 4 tries to knock down all the pins. Afterwards, you can replay the normal match.
Wee-haw!
But that's about it for this game content-wise. It's a pretty basic and charming game. There's some more stuff, but it's just 2 more lanes that require tons of grinding by replaying each lane several times, and after over 1 hour, I cannot be bothered to continue. I've seen all this game has to offer. It's a basic fun little bowling game, so on to the other section. If only there were more modes, and if only the frame rate wasn't so horrendous on certain lanes, plus the grind does get tiresome, all these cons do hold the game back from being great. It was fun while it lasted, but after an hour of playing, I couldn't stomach the game anymore. Kind of how I am these days, where I get burnt on a game after a while and don't want to return to it anytime soon. I guess it's part of getting older. Who knows? I did enjoy the music, but couldn't find it online to use for this review, which sucked. But what else is new? An obscure bowling game probably won't be a thing on KH Insider.
Yes.
At the end of the day, Milo's Astro Lanes is a fun little bowling game with some problems. I do recommend the game despite these issues of frame rate, grind, and lack of modes. The charm of its character, style, and theme help it out greatly, on top of its power-ups and traps ability to spice up matches to be more challenging or easier. This is also the last bowling game for the Nintendo 64, so get ready for yet another compilation in the future. And hopefully I'll stop reviewing nothing but bowling games too. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
Ooh, tricky!
Whoa!
Too bad.